Hi, it's Kari Matthews of Prairie Quilting. Today we are working on my Once Upon a Month block of the month, and it's March. Okay, so we're going to do a cross block with a lily. I'm a Christian, so I love to celebrate Jesus's resurrection. And along with each block of the month, there is a separate project that's kind of a smaller project. So it's a stained glass wall hanging this month. And this all is available through my website, prairiequilting.com. And today on the video, we're going to go ahead and work on the stained glass part of this. The fabric I used for this is really fun. It's called Fossil Fern by Benertex, and it has some different color variations in it that kind of look like light coming through glass, so it's a good choice. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, first we are going to make the stained glass cross block. Okay, to make the stained glass cross block, I have put in the pattern the lengths of all the strips, these little rectangles, okay? And basically what they are is it's a strip, okay? And for this strip, it's actually 3/4 of an inch, okay? So I took the block, the original block that is in the block of the month, okay? This one does not have the stained glass look, okay? So basically, you're gonna be altering the sizes of these. So you can modify a lot of different blocks to do this same thing. If you want to add like a 3/4 inch strip in to get a stained glass look, you're going to be adding a 1/4 inch finished. So you'll just have to decide, okay, I'm going to add a 1/4 inch here to this length on this side. Which side do I want to take it off of? You can take it off of the blue or off of the brown for the cross, okay? So that's the basic. You're compensating because you're adding a 1/4 inch, so you have to take it away from one of these two sections. Same here. We're adding a 1/4 inch, so we have to take a 1/4 inch away. You could take a 1/4 inch from the brown on this side or a 1/4 inch from this blue, okay? Or you could take 1/8 from each if you want to keep it even, okay? So you kind of have some options, and I hope that makes sense. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add these pieces, these little black stained glass pieces. Okay, and we want to keep our seam really straight because there's not a lot of give here. This is a 1/4 inch. You're going to end up with a 1/4 inch piece of black, okay? So I'm doing a scant 1/4 inch. All right, so we have that. See, that's skinny down here. And now we're going to go ahead and connect these two, okay? Okay, so here we are. We've got that part sewn, and now we're going to connect this last piece here. Make sure our right sides are together. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and match that up and sew my last seam for this section of the block. And I'm trying to keep this nice and straight so that it doesn't look wavy. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and press away from that black, okay? From that black strip. Because there's a lot of bulk. If I pressed toward that, there would be a lot of bulk there. Okay, so for this, the cross center, the cross beam of the cross, we need to compensate now for the horizontal direction and the vertical direction. So I'm going to, I made this rectangle smaller by a 1/4 inch on all sides. So basically a 1/2 inch in and on the top and the length and the width, basically, okay, from the original that has no stained glass, okay? And like I said, you can do this with a lot of different blocks. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and sew with a 1/4 inch seam and kind of a scant 1/4 inch. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, 1/4 inch on this side, and we'll press. All right, I'm going to go ahead and press toward that brown. Okay, so it's kind of a little fiddly since it's such a small black piece there. So be careful for your fingers. If you have a clapper, that is a good thing to use to kind of help you flatten that seam out. Okay, and now we are going to go ahead and add the top and the bottom black pieces. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and sew that on. We're using a 1/4 inch, scant 1/4 inch. Okay, let's get that last block piece on. All right, and once again, we're gonna go ahead and press toward the brown, toward the cross section. Okay, so just try not to stretch it too much there. Keep it kind of as straight as you can. Oh, you know, again, we're going for the handmade stained glass look, I think, here. Okay, and then this last side. Okay, and because we're working with fabric, we can kind of maneuver it a little bit. So we're just gonna do that. Okay, so there is the block piece. Now we have to connect up these blue. Okay, so I'm sewing onto the sides here, these little blue rectangles. Okay, and this is our sky. And for that part, I'm using it's Fossil Fern fabric from Venertex. It's really nice for this stained glass look. All right, and we are gonna press away from the black again. Okay, and there we go. We have our second section here. Okay, so next we're gonna connect the sky and the grass. Okay, so we have a couple sky pieces and 2 grass pieces here. And on these ones, we're gonna be connecting them with the black in between. So we have to once again compensate for that 1/4 inch. I'm taking it from the green, okay? And the pieces are all spelled out in the pattern how big they are, but I'm just kind of giving you a heads up. So if you want to do this on another block, that's the basic technique. All right, here we go. We're gonna sew this down to our green. Okay, before we press, we're gonna go ahead and connect the blue, okay? I find it easier to press when both sides are sewn than you're pressing toward the big pieces of fabric. Okay, so we're gonna go sew this black strip to that blue sky section. And there's 2 of these pieces. Okay, for these sections, yeah, it's going to be much easier to just pull that open and press it when it's all together than if I were to press it separately with the green and the blue. Go and press that open. Okay, it's looking good. I'm liking this block. This is fun. Okay, so now the next step is we've got our side sections for the bottom. We're gonna put black strips on each side of this bottom section of the cross, okay? Here we go. We're gonna sew this down. All right, so I'm not gonna press this yet because I just find it easier to press it at the end. So let's go ahead and we're gonna put this on to this section here. I'm gonna put my needle down too. Sometimes it gets fiddly because I'm working kind of against this seam allowance over here, so it kind of wants to push my presser foot away from the edge. So I'm kind of having to maneuver things a little bit. All right, and now we're gonna put the other side on. Now just, the only thing to make sure of here is that the grass is both down, okay? Okay, once again, let's go ahead toward or away from the black there to kind of get rid of as much bulk as we can. All right. Ooh, it is looking like stained glass. All right. And now we just connect those 3 sections up. Whoa, make sure the grass is down. I almost went and sewed that the wrong way. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and sew this piece onto here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put a couple pins in here because I'm going to hold this down. It's getting a little bit fidgety because it's longer. Got my needle down so I can stop and pull my pins out. Okay, and now we will go ahead and press. And I'm gonna go ahead again and press away from that black. Okay, that is looking really fun. I'm loving this block. This is a fun way to celebrate the death and resurrection of Jesus. Okay, so pin those. All right, we are on this last seam now. And I'm gonna pause and pull our pins. Gotta kind of monkey with this fabric. Okay, and once again, we're going to go away from that black. And there is our stained glass cross block. Okay, and now we're going to make that applique lily block. Okay, for our stained glass block, I'm going to show you how I kind of did this. So on the back of your black, I ironed on the paper-backed fusible web, okay, and I did not draw anything on it. I already did that on the pieces, okay, for the colored pieces. I traced the templates and I ironed my, fusible web on, and then I cut them out. I laid them all out, okay, and you're gonna need, for 2 blocks, you'll need twice this or whatever. And so the white pieces, they're all very close to the same. So I labeled just like a little sticky, and I just kind of put them on top so I can keep track of what goes where, okay, which piece is which. And we're gonna go ahead and notice how I left, an eighth to a quarter inch on all sides of that, okay, so that I can trim them. So I want to do that, and this as well, give it a quarter to an eighth inch there, and I'm going to just press that down, okay. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my scissors, and I use not my really nice fabric scissors. They're good scissors, but just something that you don't mind, I'm gonna actually trim away in the center here so it's easier to cut when I have just one piece instead of the whole thing. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna trim, and I'm gonna give myself an eighth to a quarter inch, is kind of your own preference on this, how thick you want your stained glass to look. Okay, because this will be your finished size of the stained glass for this. Okay, so I'm gonna, see here, I've got a little bit more I want to just shave off here. So this is just your own personal preference, how thick you want that glass or the lead on the glass to look. Okay, so just be careful so you don't cut too much off. For this black, I'm using Benartex's chalk texture. It's a nice kind of mottled black, or you could use black solid or whatever, but I like it. I like the way this looks with this fossil fern fabric here, and see, it kind of looks almost glass-like there's bubbles in the glass or something like that. Okay, so there's one of our pieces. So we're going to go ahead and cut all the rest of the pieces out the same way. Okay, I've already cut some of these. these are the center little pieces of the yellow and the flowers. I'm gonna clip off that end because this is gonna be hidden underneath, so I don't need those end tips there. So go ahead and cut out all your pieces, and I'm gonna keep my stickies so I know what pieces go where. Okay, and once you get that cut out with your black, you're gonna go ahead and take off that backing from the black, okay? So now we just have our pieces, okay? So we'll do that for all of our pieces. Okay, so I have laid this block out here, and I've laid them with the pieces. The A goes in the bottom, B, and you can build up alphabetically, okay? So I'm gonna trim some of that bulk out. Okay, so I'm happy with the layout of my lily. So I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a good press. And I am not, I'm not ironing. I am pressing this thing because I don't want to mess up the placement of my pieces. Okay, so I'm gonna just kind of try to hit all the areas with a little bit to just kind of secure it. And then go back and give it another good press according to the manufacturer's instructions. Let's go ahead now and we're gonna sew around. I'm gonna use a buttonhole stitch for this. You can use any decorative stitch, satin stitch, zigzag, whatever you prefer. Okay, and I've put a wider foot so I can see where I'm going. Okay, and I've switched to my buttonhole and I'm putting my needle down. So this is where you wanna be familiar with your stitches to know the direction they're gonna take off, okay? And I'm just gonna go, so this is overlapped by, the yellow here is overlapped by this white and black piece. So I'm just gonna start here and I'm not gonna go like around the bottom section because that's gonna be overlapped and I will catch that when I get the black sewn, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and we're starting with yellow, okay? I'm gonna get my yellow pieces tacked down. And I'm going slow because this is more filly because the pieces are very small. So now I get to the end and I'm going to turn it, okay? And so that it takes kind of a bite out of that fabric in the center there. Okay. And come back down the other side. All right, and now I'm going to leave some nice long tails and we'll go ahead and do the next section. Okay, and our last yellow here. Okay. All right, so to bring those threads to the back side and knot them off, I'm gonna go ahead and thread my needle, okay, and go down pretty much the same hole that I started in, okay? And bring it to the back side. Okay, and I'm gonna find that matching. I left the cream on the back side so I don't have to change my bobbin thread all the time. So I have a cream and a white thread. There's two threads here that I have in my hand. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and we're making a knot. If you've done embroidery, this is familiar to you. So I made a circle, brought it through, bring it down to your fabric, hold it with your fingernail and pull through. And now you have one knot, but you're going for the surface of that, okay? So I'm making a loop, okay, around my fingers and I'm pulling it through, okay? Bring it close to your fabric, put your fingernail down and pull through. And there you've got a knot, two knots now. I like to double knot them. Okay, and I'm gonna clip those off and give it a 1/4 inch tail down here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull the rest of those through as well. All right, so I have put green thread in and I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna do the same thing now for the green. Okay, so I'm gonna start here and just go ahead and outline our green. Okay, so I came to the black and I'm stopping there. Okay, so I'm gonna pull that out, give myself some threads or some long tails to work with when I bury. Okay, and then I'm gonna start again after that overlap there. Okay, and go to the end down here. and give ourselves another long tail. Okay, and I'm gonna start here, up here, because I have a nice long stretch. Okay, I'm gonna go around. So I started after that overlap. I'm just doing the things that are on the top, okay? Because the rest will be tacked down by everything that's over the top of it. All right, so I've changed to white, and now I'm gonna go ahead and do my white around all these leaves. And all right, here we go. We'll leave ourselves some nice threads and we'll bring those to the back. Okay, so I'm just going around now the black. And then we will be done with our stained glass lily block. Okay, and then this one is nice. It just flows right into that next leaf, depending on how you lay it out. So we're gonna go ahead and carry on. This just kind of makes a nice, cool stained glass look. You could use ribbon or bias tape to overlay this and sew it on with a buttonhole stitch as well if you didn't want to, do this applique method. There's all kinds of ways to get that same look. Just backtrack over that. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and go around this other leaf that kind of connects with that. Okay, and you know what? We're just going to keep on going down here. And we'll meet up on the other side. Okay, we're going to leave some long threads. Okay, and I'm going to cover all the rest of the black in the same way. Okay, I'm going to show you this with the black thread because it's easier to see. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it through, and I've got a bunch of these to bury. So, but you see there's the black, and I have the cream too, okay? So you can do it this way. You make a loop, pull it through both threads, and then bring it down to the fabric level, put your fingernail down and pull against it, okay? Same thing, you're just making a loop. Okay, do you see that loop? Pull those both threads through, bring it down to the fabric level on top of that other knot, and then pull them both, okay? Till it's nice and snug, and there is your knot. You'll go ahead and give yourself a 1/4 inch there. Okay, and there is our lily block. All right, our blocks are finished and ready to be assembled. I hope you had fun, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me through my website, prairiequilting.com. Take care.